Okay. um, Hi, Matt. So who are you and what's your role here?
My name's Matt Simmons, and I'm the District of Squamish's Capital Projects Manager. I worked with various stakeholders in implementing the construction of the facility here in the Smoke Bluffs Park.
Nice. In this particular facility, could you explain us maybe a very elementary difference between like where the solids go, where the liquids go, and how this toilet's different than others?
Yeah, so the Squamish Climate Action Network worked to secure a grant from MEC that would put a better bathroom facility in the Smoke Bluffs Park. And historically, we'd had a portalette with a wood kind of skirting around it. And so that was pumped out every week for most of the year. And so this technology, we've utilized the composting toilet so that we can, have a better facility within the park and, reduce some of our operation and maintenance costs here as well. So historically, we were spending about $2,000 a year for the rental of the portalette and the servicing. Our costs now are below $1,000, and it's just the variability of that cost is just based on the usage and some of the cleaning that's required. But largely, there's a fairly significant cost savings for us, and it's been received well in the community. We also had a big problem with vandalism and graffiti in the old facility, and we're 2 years old here, and there's nothing on anything, and so that's a good indication that there's a level of respect here as well.
Nice. So you had previous complaints with the portaloo that was here prior. Other than you had mentioned before, maybe the only complaints you would have is that it's lacking toilet paper. But have you have odor complaints in the area?
We haven't, not to my knowledge, we haven't had any. So historically, there was a challenge. They tried to put a vent on the portalette. They tried to put black paint on it to help with the heat for venting. And we're kind of stuck in this little kind of hole in here in the forest canopy. So the venting's not ideal anyways. But we've not had in 2 years any complaints of odor that I'm aware of.
That's great. That's really great. If you were given the opportunity in other locations within the district of Squamish, would you guys be keen to put other toilets in, given the success that you've had with this toilet for the past couple of years?
Yeah, most definitely. I think finding the right project that can find a way to fund that is always a challenge when you're trying to break out of operations and maintenance budget into more of a capital asset. Can bring with it some challenges, but there are a number of locations already in Squamish, specific to the confluence of the Mampum and the Squamish River, where we've got a ton of anglers in with the
Right.
salmon runs, as well as up in Brackendale and Fisherman's Park. Again, highly used recreational area with no water sewer services in that location. So we've got a couple of really good candidates for that, and I think we'll look forward to any opportunities where we can kind of push those ahead.
Great. On that sort of note, you brought up the concept of having, like, when there's a lot of people, when there's no water access, these are good locations to put in a toilet of this nature. Could you elaborate maybe a little bit more on, we have an example of a toilet here in a relatively urban environment. Could you see these also being successful in other types of environments, maybe in the backcountry or stuff like this? It seems like, I guess more or less what I'm trying to get to is, would this toilet work in numerous environments, whether it's backcountry or front country?
Yeah, I think most definitely. I think since the 2 years ago, about right this time of year is when we completed the project, and I think in in the last 2 years I've been a reference for TTS, 20 or 30 times, and it's been a broad range of people considering it for different uses. I think we look at things specific to within the municipal boundary, but we're surrounded by mountains and park space and some of the best backcountry and climbing areas around North America. So yeah, very much so. And I know specifically BC Parks has a few installations, and they're looking at others as well. And I've had some calls on that. So yes, most definitely. I think that's the unique. One of the unique benefits is that it can be in a broad range of installations, and granted, you may not be building a kind of post and beam kind of enclosure around it in a remote location, but this is this is an installation that's worked, within 50 meters of residential, and so yeah, I think very much it's dynamic in that way.
That's great. We thanks a lot, Chris. Or sorry, what am I saying? Thanks a lot, Matt. We really appreciate you coming out and taking some time to talk with us and telling us a little bit about the toilet.
Yeah, no, thank you guys, and hopefully we'll get another installation here soon enough.
We'd like that.
Okay.
Take care.
Thanks.